Hello everyone, this is your Dungeon Master Scoot talking. I do have to apologize as I found out while re-listening to the episode later to do a little bit of editing that my mic had actually cut out for about 15 minutes of the session, and unfortunately it was done during a point where I was giving a lot of exposition, kind of giving the Gaffers what they're doing, so my apologies for that, as there will be now a very big skip in the recording. But I have put the basic information summary you will need down in the description. My apologies again to the players for having that happen. Sorry, folks. But please enjoy the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Ryam. I hope you're all doing well on this this particular week. This week we're doing something a little bit different as we are unfortunately down one player. Rob, our beloved pantsless wizard, is in the middle of the sticks for reasons of wherever he lives, and he has little to no access to internet. So we're going to try something a little different. But first, as is tradition, we're going to introduce who is here, who they normally play, and the question for this week, gang, although I'm a little sorry Rob's not here for it, is what would it take for your characters to turn? Right, to turn to the dark side, to go full 80s evil corporate, what would that take for you folks?
A lot of cocaine and shoulder pads if it's 80s evil.
Sold.
Yeah. I'll go first since you invoked the 80s, my favorite era ever. I'm Randall, and I play Kiki, the Kinku Tinkerer. And so I was thinking about this question for Kiki. So Kiki is the first true neutral character I think I've ever played. And it's kind of interesting thinking about that because a lot of my characters are like wear their hearts on their sleeve and they just live to help people and things like that. So it's interesting playing someone who's just, not completely, but more about herself. She's very logical kind of. I think Kiki would need to be tempted to the dark side, sort of like a bit of like a slow burn kind of thing. Like if you offered her like, I don't know, the Tome of All Knowledge, for example, or like you can have this entire.
Scoot's ever offered that to anybody in any campaign.
I don't know where I got that idea from. Or if you were like, here is this ideal like workshop laboratory, like decked out to the 9 yards, and just occasionally you need to do some research projects for me, and like that could lure her in, like because she'd be like, oh, knowledge is useful, right? Like sure, I'll research this thing, because like even though she's known for her bombs, she originally started studying those because she was looking for something that would help with like propellant for her when she designed wings. Like I know she's about blowing stuff up, but that's actually her backstory. So yeah, I think like knowledge workshop-y, like help her advance her own like learning and stuff, and frame it as like the purity of knowledge for the sake of knowledge, that could absolutely start luring her over.
Yep. Just light war crimes. Just really light war crimes.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's going all Tony Stark in like 5 minutes, but I could maybe see it happen.
Kenku steps there.
As Randall almost spits his drink out.
King.
I can go next. I'm Kate. I play Allie, our half tiefling, half kitsune monk. The thing that would really get Allie to, so like you would not be able to tempt Allie with power. That's just not a thing that is of any interest. That's a consistent theme across all my characters. I should explore that in therapy sometime. None of my characters want power. A bunch of them had ended up with it anyway. Power wouldn't tempt her. Money wouldn't tempt her. But like, if she fell in love with the wrong person, and they kind of slowly managed to chip away at her core identity, which has almost happened to her before. That's how she'd turn to the dark side. It's the only character arc I can possibly think of for her turning to the dark side.
I do like making you queen, just because it bothers you.
You really do, because none of my characters want to be fucking queen.
Right, and that's why it's hilarious fun for me.
I'm the complete opposite.
The first campaign you didn't make me a queen. You just made me the commander of an island.
Call it a governor.
Campaign, you made me the seneschal. Then the third campaign, you made me a queen. And then my fourth campaign, I finally got to be not a queen. I'm just a plains warden, and that's fine because my character actually wanted to be that. So I should be on the lookout for this character becoming the queen of someplace, apparently.
Never made me a queen, Scoot.
Randall, that's because nobody needs to make you a queen when you already are one.
First off, Satara was a queen long before I got to her. So.
Okay, fair.
Okay, although I'm Deb, I'm playing Tessa, the Tiefling Paladin, and Tessa is pretty much unlike most of my other characters who are, not gonna lie, a little bit of power-hungry whores. But for her to turn to the dark side, I can only think of two possible scenarios, and it would take, literally everything. She is much like Allie, she's not tempted by power or money. She's not even tempted by knowledge. She would have had to have lost all her friends, all her family, her country would abandon her, Allura would have forsaken her, and in some desperate time, she would have turned to some other entity, become a dark paladin. Actually, I don't even know if that would happen. The other way I could be more I could see it happening is if she entered into a pact either out of ignorance or if she did it to save her friends and family, and that patron kind of slowly corrupted her, or she just pretty much just gave everything up for them. That's really the only way I could see that happening.
Good to know.
I just realized this is the most awful question for Scoot to know about our characters.
And to have it recorded for posterity. Thank you, Randall.
When I suggested it, I was all like,
here's 10 knives. Do what you will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Deb, you have to tell the listeners what you told us, most of your characters, what it would take for them to turn to the dark side. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, what did I say? Is
I'll
it one of
remind
the chats?
Yeah, you were basically it would take 20 chicken nuggets and a cheeseburger.
It would take 20 chicken nuggets for any of my other characters to turn to the dark side, but not Tessa.
You could just line up
100 chicken nuggets.
20 piece and a McDouble. They're pretty good to go.
I would sell my soul for one corn chip.
I could see these chicken nuggets lined up, literally leading to the dark side.
Commodore, absolutely.
There's a door.
I feel like Mary would resist for a while.
Unless it was something sweet. She has a bit of a sweet tooth.
That's true. If we make it like a molten lava cake, there goes Mary.
She becomes Dark Mary, the Dark Pope.
The anti-pope.
The anti-pope. Or even better, one of 3 popes at the time when, the church schisms into 3 things in 3 different countries to care that the actual pope is living there, and then they excommunicate all the other popes, which was the most hilarious part of church history.
Weirdly, our current pope in Rome is not actually the pope. Technically, it's another guy in, Alexandria or something.
Depends which version of church history you go by.
Yeah, which is the weird thing, because there were, there were pope wars. Being pope is a crazy fucking history of shit. The history of the popes are crazy. Anyway. So this week, though, dear listeners, since we, are on the verge of some sort of temple battle, and we didn't want to do that without our beloved wizard, like I said, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to focus on a couple of new friends that will probably be joining the Gaffers in the near future, as many of them had found a great dear love of Tessa. And of course, I'm talking about the little derp geckos that have formed a sort of hero worship, not a cult. They understand that Tessa is not a goddess.
Totally not a cult, TM.
Yeah, totally not a cult. So
they only have t-shirts.
I can't believe it's not a cult.
It's the margarine of religious followers.
Oh my god.
So we will be using a little simplified version of things, as I didn't want to trouble the players to make entirely new characters. So I am basing what's going to be happening tonight off a very lovely game called Crash Pandas. This is a really cool RPG that was featured on Critical Role. It's a free PDF you can go get. I will put a link in the description below the video. Wow, I'm a real YouTuber now. I said it. Wow, it's legit. course now.
No, you have to put the link in the upper right-hand corner and then point to it.
Yeah, except I just use still images because I'm lazy.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
Smash that bell, I guess, or whatever the hell the kids say nowadays.
You will give us hell a warning if you're ever thinking of doing video, because
No,
this doesn't just happen.
There's no, we don't
No,
do
I
video.
have to get in my costume and I have to get my wig out, get the horns.
There will be lots of warning before we ever try something like that. But so this is again a much simplified version. It's based on D6s, and it's more kind of like about we prepped this a little bit before, so we're not here too long doing it. But it's basically based on successes or failures. So the gang has statted their little geckos that they've picked. They will introduce them shortly. But basically it's a matter of if they roll a d6, if they get a 4, 5, or 6, they succeed. If they get a 1, 2, or 3, that dice has failed them. And really they're just trying to survive this adventure as best they can. Now, being that these are little derp geckos, they don't really have stats like strength or charisma, but I'll very much tell you what they do have. They have might, which the players will be using for a lot of offensive things, for spells or attacking, bonking with stick as you do. Logic, which will be most of the mind-based things, gathering knowledge, solving puzzles, etc. Survival, which is a lot of their defensive, not dying, basically, will be wrapped up into that stat. Moxie, which is their sort of like a bravado, maybe it's through talking or trying to do some really cool shit. And finally, speciality is every one of these little gecko guys and gals and thems have a sort of specialty that they have, so they'll have some higher rolls there. So unlike D&D, where I will call for a specific roll, I still might, but the players have an opportunity to get more dice to roll. If they can tie what they're doing to a backstory, if they just think it's extra cool, or if they can really find a good reason to why they should be allowed to have more dice. I believe the players are ready to go. So the scene comes in as the camera pulls back and leaves the gaffers trying to figure out, taking a short rest, trying to figure out what to do with this whole slag situation. Tessa has whooped and found it. But the 2 geckos that Tessa has freed have slipped away. And they've made their way back very quickly to Reginald T. Tiggins, the raccoon gentleman, that is that is that is running this little encampment down here. But in the meantime, Reginald has taken all but 3 of the geckos on some expedition to go find something. But as the 2 come running in, the 2 being as I will use the image of what we are now referring to as the Gexs gang, Barry, the leader, and the Shirley, the kind of one of the group's alchemists, comes running back looking for their friends, and they only see 3 of them too. So Barry, the big kind of one who just by default has to deal with all of the non-lizard folk, he is the most experienced with them, kind of looking around. And you 3 see Barry looking perturbed. You haven't seen Barry in a while. It's probably been like a couple of days since you've seen him, which is a little odd.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Sure.
Starts off.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm playing Somek. He is a cleric. He is a little on the shyer side, but a very nice gecko. He came over from the Thousand Islands and bumped into Reggie in Onmir and was worried that he hurt him, so he cast some heals. So Reggie thought this was a useful skill, so here he is, and he's working on his healing and wants to build up a good name for lizard folk.
I'll be playing Laverne. Laverne is an apprentice herbalist. She's one of the smaller of the geckos. Kind of a little bit airheaded, definitely pretty bubbly. Good with plants. All of her plants have names. Like if there is somewhere in your life a basic white girl who loves succulents, that's Laverne. This is Laverne basically. And she's apprenticed to Shirley. So she's kind of glad that Shirley is back safe.
Again, I will be playing Sis. That's 5 S's, 3 I's, and 3 S's. and they are a ranger, a little on the serious side. I'm already doing the sibilant S's, given their name. And yeah, I think, Sis tends to take their time in the woods a lot, so they can be slightly on the gruff side, not like mean-spirited, just they don't have time for frippery and foolishness. And yeah, that I think is a little bit about their
I
backstory.
guess.
Okay.
But mostly to heal you when you do get hurt. Because
Okay.
you do get hurt.
Let's hope it doesn't.
Like a lot. Like everybody gets hurt all the time. It's kind of alarming. Mostly self-inflicted. I don't understand.
Yeah, the potions have been a bit much.
Yeah, so just, head over to where the big fire guy is. Maybe you can slip past the Kobald. They're weird. I don't... You'll be able... but I'm sure you three, being the only ones available, are clearly the best for the job.
Before we go, Sis is going to take a couple of the reject potion
Okay.
vials or bottles. Just like...
Make
kinda tuck
a
'em away.
logic check.
A logic?
Mm-hmm.
A 6.
Okay, you manage to find... You pick up one that has turned Phil, who is your actual alchemist, Gecko. It has turned him invisible for a very short period of time. About 15 seconds. That's been the most. You pick up 2 more vials. You have no idea what they do. You just grab them.
By the way, Sis wasn't looking for necessarily effective ones. She was thinking that might be either a distraction or like some subterfuge with Kobalt. But happily, if one of them might do something positive, great. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Would I know what the other 2 are?
Make a logic check.
All right, that's 4 dice. 2 5s and 2 3s, so it's half and
2
half.
successes. You identify another one as it's what Phil's been calling the Go Fast, which functionally puts you under like a haste spell.
Oh, this is a good one.
Hmm.
This is a good one for you, Sis.
Ooh, very good. Sis notes the color and which one that is. And then we have one mystery one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Barry gives you general directions and the way to go, but you folks are off, and you begin making your way through the winding caverns. I would like all of you to make... So what check would you folks like to make to try to track down where the Cindermeg is?
I'll use logic.
I guess as a ranger speciality,
Sure.
like sort of going through. I almost said survival because I'm used to,
Yeah, D&D.
Right.
D&D roles, but specialties, yeah.
I will also roll a
Okay.
logic roll.
Okay.
2 successes.
2
I got
successes.
2 successes as well. So
One success.
Okay. Sis, you feel very confident you know exactly where to go. You lead your team in circles for about an hour before the other 2 kind of lead you to where you probably need to go. And you do find, but along the way, you find a broken, raided encampment of some of the big people that sometimes come down here. There is leftover gear. There is a bunch of what looks to be random trash, but could be treasures if used correctly.
Ooh. Could we use
any of them
armor
plants?
for ourselves?
Yes, there is one plant.
What is the plant?
It is a aloe vera plant.
Oh, that's a good plant to have down here.
Do
Do
we
name
just
this
sort
one
of
Morty?
search Rubber Morty? Do you give all your plants names,
Yes.
Laverne? I love it. What's the plant's name again?
Morty, like Morton, the fire
Oh,
giant. He's nice.
put- Mark on your sheet. One Morty. Sis will rummage through to see what.
Can we
If those are
salvage
used.
any of the armor or makeshift it to
Sure.
kind of fit us?
What skill would you like to use, folks?
I'll use logic to see if I can fit like pieces of leather together. Know which pieces are too heavy or won't be useful.
Mm-hmm.
I got 1 success.
Okay. You find what is a very small buckler, which for you is sort of like shield-sized, but it's definitely like Kid Link with the Hyrule metal shield, where like you don't know if you could, like Tic Tac and Toe might be able to use this because they're sort of built for that, but you're not as strong, right? Like your might. So, but you think if you strap it onto your back, it would definitely help you because something will, it won't hurt you from there. You'll have some protection.
I'll try to hoist it onto my back and struggle doing so.
You will be able to do this because it is relatively intact. Folks, anything else from the rest of you? You want to try to search this thing? You want to try to do and stuff? You want to break things? There's boxes that are sealed.
I want to see if there's any like wooden weapons. Like I'm thinking staffs or nunchucks, more specifically. Like basically something that she could pick up and use as a weapon. That is because like I'm assuming most like normal people's staffs are going to be too big, but if there's one that's already partly broken, she might be able to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to roll. I'm thinking I might roll her special for that because plants.
I don't know. I'll give you Moxie if you want to try something daring.
I tell you what, I will find a regular size staff and I will try to break it down to size with Moxie.
Okay.
One success.
You're not the strong. It's hard. You're not strong. So it's really well made. You can't break it down. You do see that there is a chair that is broken that you could probably snap off one of the legs and make
a leg from a chair.
Chair shiv.
Make a might check, please.
One success.
Yeah, it's after some doing, you get it off, and there's actually a nail sticking out of it.
Nail.
I can poke people with that.
Nail.
Sis, anything?
Sis wants to see if there's anything that they could use as like a weapon, ideally throwing, because they're not very mighty. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for, they already have a bow and arrow, but like, I don't know, just something like.
Okay, make a logic check. Or a Moxie if you're trying to like sell.
Oh, Moxie! I will 100% do Moxie. 2 successes.
Yep, you find a very well crafted sling. And there's lots of little rocks, but there's also one that's like the rock is blue, and you're not sure why it's blue, but it's not like a gemstone or anything. It is a rock that is blue. That's not usually how they come around here. Like
shiny blue, or like a matte blue, or out of curiosity.
It sort of looks like it's painted, but you can sort of get the feeling that like this was kept with the ammo, but in like another little bag. So this might be special.
Okay, they'll take the sling and the blue rock.
Okay.
So Mike realizes he doesn't have any weapon and looks around and will literally pick up anything.
Give me a Moxie.
I failed.
Everything is so heavy, and you're like, I don't know about this. Would anyone like to help Somek?
I'm just gonna walk backwards with my shield facing the direction that we're going to protect.
Can you do shield bash? Do you know how to do that?
I can't carry it, but I can like I'm gonna just pretend I'm a turtle and just like smash them with my back.
So you're saying you're gonna walk backwards? We're going into like a fiery area, with the goal of following an alluring priestess. So functionally, you're gonna face God and walk backwards into hell.
That's the thing.
Makes total sense. Sis will happily help Somek.
Another Moxie check. There's Sis.
All right. 2 successes.
You actually find a little dagger, like a little stiletto blade.
Here, would this help?
Pointy. So Somek goes, yes, thanks. And he puts it on his belt. I'm going to try to not get into combat. I'll try to stay away, but if I do, this will help.
Okay. So
pointy end goes that way.
And then Somek adjusts his belt.
It's like a little sword for Somek. So you folks move on. You end up you move towards you now move away from this encampment and you move into Kobald territory, or at least what Reggie has designated as Kobald territory. You folks have been in a, like, the last couple weeks have been in a sort of like a territory war with them, although it's just more of you just yell at each other. No one really fights per se, because no one really wants to get hurt down here. There are people set traps, but they're not deadly. They're more of just like, you've probably found Tic Tac and Toe on their patrols. They're all just like in those like foot slings, like hanging from the ceiling as the kobolds threw dirt or bad fruit at them, and that's more of a prank war than an actual fight. But you have now entered their territory. You know the Cinderbloom is probably about a half mile into their territory. So how would you folks like to move forward?
Stealthily?
Okay, so Sis, I assume you are going to try to help the others and guide them through. Okay.
100%, yes.
I have a pretty high survival too, so
That will work.
I try to make some suggestions on how to not die or step on traps.
So for Sis, would that be a speciality?
Yeah, I would say this fall in your speciality. Yep.
I'll do survival.
Ooh, 3 successes.
I have 3 successes as well.
Okay.
Nice.
And Laverne?
1 second.
Is she stealthy? Is she
2 successes.
Okay, you all are surprisingly quiet. Actually, you pass a cobalt like outpost that's like sort of a guard post, and they're all taking a snooze. So you very easily sneak past them, like Looney Tunes style. The other thing you notice, though, as you approach what is their kind of normal encampment, is something's going on, because there's a lot more kobolds around here than there normally are. But it's not like they're not preparing for war. It seems like there's some sort of event going on today.
A happy event?
Yeah.
Or like angry event?
Sort of happy. There's a lot of kobolds around. They're all sharing food, and they all seem to be really, really excited about something.
Are they concentrated in one sort of area, or are they scattered all around?
So they're a little bit scattered, but there is a big group kind of in the center of the village, the center of the little village they occupy here. The other thing you can see, there are very large creatures over where they're assembling.
What kind of creatures?
They are large and reptilian. You've seen... Sis has definitely seen on his scouting things that the big folk in the city ride these things.
Oh. Dragons? I mean, Randall thinks... I know about kobolds,
No,
but I don't
they
know.
don't have wings, though.
Specifics.
They don't have wings.
Oh.
Wings.
Oh, like Gexs?
Yeah, Gaks. They have like 2 big Gaks, and there's one Cobalt team in red, like just looks like red shirts they've pilfered or they've made themselves, and it looks like they're challenging anyone to take them on in whatever competition they're doing.
Maybe we can slip past them if we put our hoods up.
Maybe we should disguise ourselves like kobolds and challenge them. Exists. Yeah, I think sneaky is the way to keep going. Do we have a sense of where this Cindermeg is? I think with WtR will be trampled.
There's a bunch of it that seems to be the prize for whatever those kobolds are doing.
Well, maybe this is the safest way to do it.
Speaking of safe, as you folks are discussing this, Laverne, you turn around and there's a bunch of kobolds with big clubs and maces just sort of staring at you.
Hi.
Hello, Gecko, one of them says. He has a little bandana on because he's clearly in charge of the security.
Stands in front of Laverne with his butt facing so that he's blocking.
And he kind of looks. he looks at those two and he's like, all right, so his attention goes to Sis and he goes, what are you geckos doing here? You here to stir up trouble?
No, we're looking for plants. I found this nice aloe plant. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, he says. He's like, oh, it's...
We're looking for Cindermeg.
Oh, like that? And he points to like this huge like corn bushel, like wheat bushel that's up on this wooden sort of ramshackle stage that the kobolds in the red shirts are standing on.
Yeah, like that.
Oh. Well, we harvested all of it recently, so you're out of luck.
Can we have some?
And
please?
the guy looks at you like he was not expecting you just to ask him. He's like, oh, no. And he's like looking at the other guys and they're like, we don't know, like you're in charge.
You have so much though. Maybe we could trade?
Well, we can't. That's the prize.
Can we compete?
Oh. We
Or
gotta...
do you have to be a kobold? I don't want to step on your day.
No, well, I guess we gotta ask... We gotta ask Derek, I guess.
Derek.
Okay.
Yep, hang on. You should all come with us, though. And that's more of a, you need to come with us first. That's not a question. That's a, you're gonna come with us.
Yeah, Sis is very on edge, even though their two companions are... One keeps walking backwards, and the other one is very bubbly and carrying a plant like it's her best friend.
So Matt makes sure to keep his butt towards the kobolds.
Every so often, Sis will sort of correct his trajectory. Yeah, just like a little to the left, make sure that he doesn't run into anything.
Yep, so the Guardians bring you before Derek, who is this, he's slightly bigger than the other kobolds, and he has, like, papier-mâché wings on him, like he's some kind of a dragon. And he looks down, and he's just like, oh. And, the guard tells him what's going on, and he goes, have you come to enter the race, then?
If it's okay. Sure.
Okay. Now it is a... Well, there aren't a lot of rules for the race, so I'm sure it'll be very easy. For you.
Can Sis do whatever the equivalent of an insight check is?
That would probably be logic or moxie.
Oh, moxie, please. 2 successes.
He's not lying in that there will be a race. But you think as you look at the crowd and the red team's there, that there's a reason no one's challenging them for this large bushel of plants that seem to be somewhat valuable, even to the kobolds.
Are you allowed to... Do you have to keep your hands to yourself?
Oh no. The only thing is you have to ride a Gak, you have to wear the color associated with the Gak, and you have to make it across the finish line to win. First, that is.
All of us or just one of us?
Your Gak has to make it through, and if you're still alive at the end of it, great.
Uh-oh.
Still alive?
How big are the...
Yes, still alive.
Oh, Laverne's like... Rrr.
Reasonable. It'd be hard to win if you were dead.
It would be. Then you could have claimed the prize.
I can try to make you not dead.
That's right.
So how big... Gaks are pretty big, right?
It's like a
all
horse.
Three of us
like
ride one?
Oh, all of you three can have... all of you absolutely can ride a Gak. These things are bigger than horses. And horses are pretty big.
Rope? Like, between us, do we have any rope or anything in our bags that we can, attach ourselves to the Gak?
You can do that.
Do I have logic for that?
Well, hang on. So you're entering the race, yes?
I was hoping each of us could enter separately to up our odds, but okay.
I know, this seems to be a team thing. The red ones are in a team. Okay.
Well,
so they immediately just put blue scarves and bandanas on you to symbolize that you're on the blue team, and Derek goes, "Everyone, we have challengers!" And the crowd erupts into cheers as now something is going to happen.
Laverne was very excited about being cheered for.
So Mike looks very, very uncomfortable. He does not like crowds and he doesn't like attention.
Sis will tie something blue around their head so that it can blow in the breeze that Laverne makes every so often, so that they look
heroic.
they look heroic and dramatic, riding upon the Gek.
Okay. So here we are now going to move to phase 2 of this game. So we're going into the Gak race.
Hey, Mr. Derek.
Yes.
I don't want my aloe plant to get broken. Can you hold on to it while I'm riding?
Sure.
His name is Morty.
Put Morty right here, and he pats the ground next to the little chair he's sitting on.
I put Morty over there.
Okay. Does anyone else need any plant babysitting before we move on to phase 2?
The Chocobo race.
So, in this next phase, folks, you will need those D6s because the next part is very, very chaotic because none of you really know how to ride Gaks and you're not really big enough to control the Gak, so you're going to have to work together. So you have a choice. So every round, you are going to use that D6 to choose to do one of 6 actions. Break the Gak, meaning slow it down.
Jeez, that's not what I thought.
I know.
If you got break the Gak.
Slow down the Gak, break. Turn left. So you go about 30 degrees. So if 2 of you turn left, you go 60 degrees roughly. Turn right. Use an item that you have on you is 4. Make the Gak go faster or accelerate would be 5. And then 6 is you do an action, like a miscellaneous action. So if you want to use a spell, if you want to try to attack somebody, if you want to jump onto the opponent's Gak and fight with them, that would be 6. So 1 is break, 2 is turn left, 3 is turn right, 4 is use an item, 5 is accelerate, and 6 is do a miscellaneous action. What you do, though, is I'm going to tell you 3, 2, 1, and you're going to show me the number on the dice of the action you want to do. You are not allowed to plan it out beforehand.
Okay, that's why we needed to.
That's why you need the physical dice. Yep.
Okay, so we can choose. We're not
Obviously,
rolling.
For the listeners, there is a map in front of us of what the race course looks like. So we'll be able to see if we need to plan to turn in relatively short order.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And there are, he said the only rules are your Gak has to make it across the finish line to win.
Oh, it's not like we have to beat them. We just have to. The Gak has
Your
to.
Gak has
cross.
to make it.
Okay.
We have to be, at least one of us has to be alive.
To claim the prize, yeah.
I was going to say, that's not one of the rules. The rules is the Gak has to make it. I think what this means. So we'll huddle, and Sis will be like, we should Gak. Absolutely stay on the Gak all the time. in case one of us needs to get off the Gak, it's not the end of the race. And they're trying to convey, don't do it, but if you have to, if one of us has to, then keep going, is basically what Sis is trying to say. Don't slow down if one of us falls off. Just keep go, I think is the, well, I don't know. They'll bring it up to the group. What should our tactic be?
I think we go.
Okay.
You don't want to go too fast because we need to turn. If you go too fast and don't turn, you hit into the wall.
Oh wait, are we allowed to feed the Gaks?
The only rule
there are no
is
rules.
that your Gak needs to make it across the finish line, and one of you needs to be alive to claim the prize.
So,
yes,
Laverne is going to reach into a pack and pull out a handful of what looks like small brown beans.
Oh no!
Okay.
I know.
Give the Gak coffee.
Okay.
Coffee beans.
I also want.
Hang on. This is where we're going to go into our. We have to use the D6 system. So, and it's time. You folks are given your shirts. You are lined up. The red team gets on their Gak. There are 3 Kobalds there that have various items with them, and they're ready to go. And then you are placed on the blue Gak, and there is basically a Kobald in Daisy Dukes and a tube top, but again it's straight because it's a lizard, so that's just how they're dressed. And they have a blue flag in one hand and a red flag in the other, and they drop them like a drag race.
So we don't even get time to like say.
Oh no, you got to get on that Gak and go.
Introduce ourselves to the Gak. Oh my god.
Nope,
okay.
you're on the Gak. It's going. So now I need everyone to grab that D6. Choose what you want to do.
I'm ready.
3,
Right.
and the other said the action order goes from smallest number to biggest number. That's how the sequence goes. So if if it's like a 2, if it's 6, 4, 5, that's what I see. It goes 4, 5, 6 is where the actions go. So ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, where's my
I have
camera?
a 6, a 4, and a 5. So 4, use item. That's first. What are you doing, Laverne? So Laverne comes out, shoves the beans in the Gak's face. He likes that.
Our Gak.
We have an accelerate. So I believe that was Sis. So you spur the Gak on and it goes. And then action was Somek. What do you want to do, Somek?
So I wanted to expand upon that rope idea I have and take the rope and I want to loop it around the Gak's horns on either side so I can kind of turn its head to steer it.
Okay. Make a moxie check.
Oh, that's my worst stat. I was hoping to be logic. 3, fail.
Yep, so you're it's a good idea. You're trying. Nothing bad happens, but you just can't quite get it. You think someone else, you might be able to help with that. So the Gaks are off, and both go bolting out of the gate. The other folks, the red one though, does take a lead. As more of those Kobald to focus on getting the Gak in front of you.
Versus feeding it beans or
Look, the beans are going to pay off in the long term.
Okay.
It will have more movement.
We are in the next. So right now, for the folks at home, they're on a straightaway, and upcoming is it would be a left turn. So next thing, folks, get that D6 ready. 3.
How many squares are we going to move per movement? Like if one person uses a movement, for example.
Oh, the Gak, as the Gak goes, its speed will increase because now it's got momentum.
Got it. Okay.
So the more the more you go, the more you accelerate the Gak, the more distance it will cover.
Got it.
Okay, so everyone get ready?
Yep.
With the D6.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. So we have a 5. We have everyone make Gak go.
No.
Gak goes. The Gak's gang Gak just bolts forward and is now coming up on that turn. The other folks, though, they keep moving.
Oh no.
Although one of them takes a lasso and is going to try to rope probably Somek.
Boo.
Doesn't get a success though. So you see that rope. He like a cowboy tries to throw it, but you manage to bat it away because it does hit off your shield instead of getting on you, and it goes. All right, folks, you have a left turn coming up. So 1, 2, 3. A break and 2 turns. So you slow down.
I'm thinking of when you're in a car, you have to slow down a little bit to make a turn. You're going too fast.
So you folks do that. You slow down a little bit, and the Gak using the momentum does make the turn rather well, although the red Gak accelerates into you and crashes into your Gak. Both Gaks take damage. Your Gak has a health pool.
Sis calls foul. They're assuming there's some sports rules or something.
No,
they don't know.
I need everyone to make me a roll to stay on the Gak.
Oh no!
Is that survival?
Whatever you would like. And remember, if you can add a little bit of flavor to it, you can tie it into a backstory. You want to just vamp for something to extra dice? Feel free.
Since I'm still holding on to the ropes, does that give me an extra dice? Like I might not be able to control him, but.
Yeah, you can't
find anything else.
You've got him a little tangled up. So
one success.
Okay,
2 successes.
2 successes from Sis.
Also 2 successes.
Okay, you folks watch as you two. So
no.
Laverne and Sis manage to hang on. Sis on that rope swings out like a pirate and is now in front of the Gak, sort of hanging onto the rope. Although you're not hitting the ground, Somek. But you are in front of it, and you're looking at the Gak's face.
I would like you guys to know that I did roll 4 ones.
Oh no.
So you are.
As long as we know that our Gax nose is now protected by Somek's shield that's on his back.
Run in his face. This might not be the worst.
Ramming speed.
So your Gak is facing
So, like,
forward.
hanging off a little bit.
You got T-boned by that other Gak.
Oh, rude.
Facing forward, correct?
You are facing forward into the next turn, which is not that far away. He's facing forward, although he has taken a big hit from the other Gak that has now had to slow down a little bit as he put a lot of momentum into that. So I need the next dice in 3, 2, 1, go. We have a 6, we have a 4, and we have a 2.
I can't tell which way we're supposed to. I think we're still.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay, good. I was like, wait, the direction.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we have the 2. So the first thing that happens is a turn, and your Gak kind of brushes up into the wall a little bit as it skitters forward because you turn very quickly. We had a I believe we had a 4. So what is the item you're using, Laverne?
Laverne pulls out you'll notice that Laverne has put on gloves. You don't know where she got the gloves, but she's got gloves on. Laverne reaches into a pouch and pulls out a plant that looks kind of like if you guys are familiar with what Queen Anne's lace looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And she throws it at the other Gak's eyes. It's giant hogweed, which is a plant that causes 30-degree burns and blindness if you're in contact with it for too long.
Ooh.
Okay, make me a... That's going to be a might check, because you're making an attack.
Well,
it's not a plant. I know.
You're attacking with the plant. Although I will give you an extra dice since you're using plant-based attacks.
Yes. 3 successes.
Yeah, the weed just kind of throws in there, and the guy's like, and it actually just stops and it begins to paw in its face, trying to get this thing off of it. Deb, what did you give me? You gave me
a 6.
So, what action would you like to take?
I would like to heal our Gak.
Okay. Make a speciality check, as this is your Jim Jam.
That is 2 successes.
Yep, so you, while dangling, just grab onto its snoot and pump some healing energy into it, and the Gak looks a little bit better.
I just picture you, like, pulling its face up, like, eye-to-eyed, like, here, bitch!
You're gonna be okay! You're getting a pep talk from moral
Its face is almost as big as you. Alright, gang, ready with that D6?
Yes.
Sort of. 3,
2, 1, go. We have a 5, a 1, and a...
Sorry.
3. So we get a break.
I bet too.
We have a slowdown. We have a 2, which is a
left turn and an accelerate.
Left turn. So the accelerate that cancels it out.
Slow a little, make that turn, and speed up.
Okay, and you make that turn.
That's perfect.
You speed up a bit, and you notice that there are holes in the racetrack and pits that seem to go down. And it looks big enough for the Gak to fall into.
Ooh.
The other folks begin to kind of get their they get their Gak back up and moving, but he's moving much slower than you are now. So Gexs gang, ready? Because again, there's a hole in that Gak's gonna have to jump. 1, 2, 3. 5, 4, 4. Okay, so what items are we using? Sis and Somek.
I would like to pull out that little dagger I have and just kind of very gently give a poke to the Gak in the leg at the same time screaming, "Jump!"
You are hanging on a rope in front of its face.
Okay.
Hold it to its throat. Be like, jump, bitch.
I'm just like poking it gently.
Okay. Sis, what would you like to do? What item would you like to use?
I'd like to use the haste potion.
Okay.
On the Gak. Like,
just get up there.
Reach it over around and just clunk, clunk, clunk. Pretty much.
This is Shadow Gaks.
Shadow Gaks. Yes.
Shadow
Gaks.
With the momentum of the haste, the Gak very easily clears the first pit. Although there is another one that is right there. That is maybe like 5-10 feet in front of you. The other Gak bolts forward, and these kobolds look like they know what they're doing as they drift their Gak around the corner. So I need you folks to get ready with those dice again. 3, 2, 1, go. We have a 5, a 6, and a 5. So the Gak just goes, man. What's your action, Cindermeg?
I wanted to pull myself back onto his back.
Okay, I need a... This would probably be a survival check, because you're trying to not die.
I failed every 4 of those rolls.
Okay.
Wow.
The rope snaps, and you are now hanging on to his lower teeth of his lower jaw. As he clears the pit through the accelerations. Make me a... How do you want to get out of this, Cindermeg? I'll leave it up to you. How do you want to try to not drop in that seemingly
I want to
bottomless
see if I can, if the rope is still attached to him in some way, like his horn or something, if I can try to re-grab onto it from where I am.
Okay, make me a... This feels like a survival check.
This time I got 3 successes.
Okay, you managed to grab back onto the back of the rope, the part of the rope that's there. You're still you're dangling, but you're still there on the front of this Gak. Okay.
I'm gonna vomit.
So, gang, get ready with those dice. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 5, and a 6. So for the 3, he begins to turn right, begins to accelerate. The 5, he accelerates a little bit more, kind of clips into the wall because he's moving. It takes a little bit more damage. And Cindermeg, I believe that was a 6. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try again to get back up on this Gak.
Okay.
So don't die. Survival. That is 3 successes this time.
Okay, you do manage to... You're now climbed up on his face. You're sort of on the top of its head, looking back at your friends.
No, I am his helmet. I know the shield is facing upward, and I'm lashed onto his face so that the shield is acting like a helmet.
Okay. Something you folks see from the enemy team, though, is that one of them it accelerates, and it jumps, but as it jumps, you see one of them cast a spell, and the Gak teleports in front of you.
Oh!
Rude.
So
But just barely, so the kobold had to have line of sight on the destination, but there they go. Ready for the
Sis
next...
just reminds everyone that we just have to cross the line. That's the thing. But I don't like them in front of us because I don't trust them for shit. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, go. 4, 5, and 6. So we start with 4. Use an item. That is Laverne.
Since they're so close and literally right there, Laverne is going to reach into another pouch and throw... We're going to go with Stinging Nettles this time.
Okay.
Yes, I did absolutely make a list of plants that could be used in defensive-based attacks.
Go ahead
in preparation for this event.
Make me a might check with an extra dice again.
2 successes.
Okay, you chuck it. The Gak scales seem to be pretty tough that it doesn't mind that, but the kobolds are not. As one of them gets hit by the needles, and he's like, and you see him just sort of beginning to lose his seat on the Gak, and he's just trying to get these things off him. I believe there was a 5, which was acceleration.
Yep.
So you begin.
I want to accelerate right into that Gak.
You crash into the Gak, and then the action, Sis, was.
Sis wants to shoot their bow at the Gak, specifically aiming for a leg.
Okay. I need you to make me a might check with
Not speciality? I was assuming it was a ranger
we'll
thing.
call it speciality. You're a ranger.
Okay. 1 success.
Yeah, you fire and it blunks off him. He's a big tough boy. These Gaks.
Damn it. It was because we rammed in. It's too close. It's throwing off Sis's aim.
The one is going to spend... Okay, so this Gak begins to accelerate again and ahead of you, with the one kobold trying to get all the freaking things off of him. I'm sure we're having cat problems right now. All right, everyone ready with the dice?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. We have a 5, everyone. Everyone accelerates again, but no one turned the Gak, so your Gak bangs into the wall and just sort of like ups against it, actually hits
I
into
didn't
the
realize
Gak
we had to do
again.
it again.
Oh, sorry, I
Okay.
thought we turned it off.
Nope. You're not, but he's sort of brushing up against it like a car at NASCAR hits the wall. He does ram into the other Gak again, which does a little bit more damage. The other ones then just accelerate and begin to turn into this. The next leg of the course for the folks at home is a very serpentine path as it twists and turns. Gaks, what would you like to do?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. 5, 6, and 4. Okay.
That's not what I meant to do, but okay.
Use items. Sis, what would you like to do?
Sis, you were the 4.
Sis, you were the 4. You are up
Oh,
first.
sorry,
Yep.
me. Okay, sorry, I was distracted and I didn't mean to do a 4, but Sis wants to take their rope from their pack and kind of do a horn, and they're going to try and turn the Gak that way.
All right,
like,
we'll do that.
Use
You're
it
setting
to
up a
turn
rope to make it easier. So give me a...
Yeah.
Give me a Moxie check.
Okay. 4 successes.
All right, you
Wow.
you basically make like a very makeshift bridle, and you're able, you think, in a harness and a... But I'm not a horse person. I don't know the reins. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right.
You do manage to get that on there. I believe there was a 5, so you begin to accelerate, and then the 6. There's an action.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that the Gak is healed. So
You
he
heal the
did
Gak.
bump into him, so I'm gonna heal the Gak.
Okay. These guys slow down a little bit as they begin making tighter turns, but so they don't get as far ahead of you. All right, ready, folks? 3, 2, 1, go. We have a 3, 3, and a 5. So the Gak gets
That's turn.
Gak's turn and accelerates through this, through there. So you're right on that red team's Gak. These folks again turn, do a little bit of accelerating, but then you see one of them take out a banana, peel it, eat it, and throw it behind them.
Kobolds and their bananas.
Ready, gang? 3,
Oh,
2, 1, go. 5, 3, and I can't see it.
you can't
4.
see yours, Kate. There's
4.
glare. Okay.
Okay, so the 3 is another turn, so you move. 4 is Kate. What item what are you using?
I'm going to throw some. So every game is aphids, and as everybody knows, one of the things that aphids do when they eat your plants is they leave like this sticky sap behind. So she's gonna chuck like a little sack full of aphids at this banana peel to make it sticky, so that the Gak does not slip.
Make me a might check.
Wow.
Can I get an extra one because I gave it
I'll
great
give you an extra. I
backstory?
will give you an extra one. Yeah.
2 successes.
The aphids land and neutralize this trap.
Yes.
Deb, what did you?
I was the turn.
Okay, you were the turns that Randall.
I was accelerating.
You accelerate.
And I had
through.
I had a question. Does the rope around the Gak, like the bridle, the reins, does it do anything?
Yeah, it gives you
Is
a
it just
lot
that?
more control of the Gak, so you don't think it'll just be randomly. If someone's using those ropes, they will be able to make better turns than just sort of moving right. Because before you're just sort of grabbing onto the horns in the back and just sort of trying to forcing their head to move. Now that you have reins, you think maybe one left or one right turn might be all you need to kind of get him to go where he needs to go.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you're holding onto the reins, that makes you the designated turner, I suppose.
Driver. Okay.
These
You've got a fast Gak. Fast enough so we can fly away.
Okay,
All right,
the Gak
ready.
moves further up. So ready, gang? 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 6, and 4. So the Gak turns as they're accelerating. You now see them. So what is 4 is item. What are we doing, Laverne?
Sorry, hold on, cat.
Cat.
I am not throwing a cat at anybody.
Boo.
Cat's not an herb.
I want to make it so that the not only is the Gak getting faster, but also like reacting better, so also less likely to bang into walls and less likely to get trapped by things. So I'm going to feed it some green tea leaves because, as everyone knows, green tea contains not only caffeine but also L-theanine, which is a stimulant known to improve reaction time and focus.
Speciality check, please. With an extra dice. That was very good.
3 successes.
You successfully feed the Gak, and the Gak's feeling pretty good. And our Deb was at a 6.
Yeah, it was
what
a
would you like
6.
to do?
I'm going to invoke the power given to me by my gecko god, and I would like to cast a spell on the enemy Gak. Command, if possible. It's level 1 spell. You might know that.
Yeah, you probably know that one.
So I want to give it the command to halt.
Okay, I want you to roll me a speciality check with 2 extra dice.
There's one question I have is, can we get past it?
That is 2 successes.
It's
Out of 6 dice. It's horrible.
definitely stall. It doesn't quite... Actually, here, let me roll. See what happens. Wow, it rolled like shit. It stops. Okay, so it is stopped, and the kobolds don't know why, and they're just trying to get it to move for their turn, but it just won't move anywhere. So get those dice ready. 3, 2, 1. 5, 5, and 3. So the Gak straightens out.
Did you mean
Did you mean a
3?
left turn?
I meant to turn whatever way
Yeah.
I'm a little turned around. It's the Gak's right?
Yeah.
It's the Gak's left we want to go.
Well, you know which way I want to turn. I just can't.
I know where you wanted to turn. It's hard.
Was that a left? Because I'm
That's
thinking
left,
it's.
So the
Are you
front
doing
of
from our perspective or from the
this
Gak's
is the front
perspective?
of the Gak?
Yes.
Yes,
So
so
it
it wants
would
to turn
be-
left.
Okay.
Going this way.
I know what you wanted to do, so I won't.
Yeah. I'm
against you.
like, okay.
So you guys, I will give you this. You are now in a space that is not big enough for both Gaks to be side by side. So you are accelerating into him. What is the plan? Do you want to go? Oh, look, he's stopped. He's dead stopped, and there's enough.
We jump over him?
Yeah, there's enough room up. You just can't be side by side in this tunnel.
Can you pull the reins up to get it to, jump up?
I could try.
Give me a. This is Moxie. It's gonna take some Moxie to do this. Before you roll, Randall.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Do you two want to help Sis in any way?
Please do.
Yes. Can I pull out the little sword again and just kind of poke it in the behind so that it's kind of like kicking a horse, like, hey, go.
Yeah, give me a might check with an extra dice because I think that's funny.
I want to use
One success.
my chair leg like a pole vault pole. So as we're trying to leap over this other Gak, basically like pushing off of it.
That's
Wow.
the Gak is too big for that. If you want to yeet yourself, you can, but you have like a tiny club.
All right, I can't quite make that reach.
No.
I'm not going to poke our Gak. If as we are leaping over them, I have a chance to poke any of the other ones, I'll do so. Otherwise, I will just fly.
Okay. So Randall, I think Deb, what did you?
I got 1 success for Mike.
Roll an additional dice, Randall.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I only got 1 success.
Okay, you collide into them, but you collide, but you're on top. Your Gak is on top of theirs. But you're both at a dead stop currently.
You just goomed the Gak.
But now, actually, Laverne, you can swing at one of the kobolds if you want to.
Yeah, I'm going to poke him with my pointy stick.
Okay, go ahead and make me a might check.
No, not 42, 2.
It's not a D6s.
1 success.
You bonk one on the head. It doesn't take too much damage though. So they're up.
Bonking.
They don't like what you've done, so they're all going to try to swipe at you three. One of them manages to hit. No, miss. Yeah, one of them hits Laverne.
Rude.
Yeah.
Bonk.
and you get a little, like a very sharp little metal thing just shot into your shoulder. It begins to bleed. You are not going to die, but you are bleeding. Ready with those D6s?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. 6, 2, 6. Okay, so there's a turn. You turn. You don't really go anywhere because you're at a dead stop. You didn't accelerate. What are we doing for actions, folks?
I was going to heal Laverne.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you're gonna heal me, then my action can just be spur the Gak to accelerate.
You're gonna have to think of a way to do that with an action, though, since you don't.
Why don't we switch then? If you can heal yourself, I can use the little dagger to poke him.
Laverne will take out. Let's see, what would I use for binding wounds? Probably jewelweed. Laverne will take out some jewelweed and kind of paste it over the spot that's bleeding.
Okay.
So that it stops bleeding at least.
Make a speciality check, and then Deb, I need you to make a might check as you continue to poke the gag.
Success.
Okay.
1 success.
You managed to move the gag a little bit off him. The other folks are now behind. They turn the gag, and they are going to chuck rocks again at Laverne and Somek. They missed terribly. They got no fucking successes.
Bounce off my shield. I put my butt in between and shake it. My shield butt.
You folks ready to go? 3, 2, 1, go. We have accelerate. You folks accelerate. You're almost at the wall though, because you went real fast. So.
Okay, so let me ask if to turn the direction I think we need to go. That's the Gaks left, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
These folks begin to follow, and they are once again going to be tossing stuff at no one because they missed terribly. So you folks ready to go? 3, 2, 1, go. Accelerate, action, and a turn. But since you have those ropes, you can make the turn a little bit easier. You accelerate, and what's the action, Somek?
I was going to call upon the Gexs god and fire a bolt of guiding light at the Gaks' eyeballs.
Speciality, please.
That is three hits.
You smack the Gak, and it has taken a lot of damage, and it does not look very, very good. It looks pretty banged up. They will make a turn to kind of keep right on your butt, though. They're just right behind you. All right, gang, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 4, 5, and 5. So 2. So what is the item, Laverne?
I want to. No, go back. There we go. All right. I want to throw behind me. This time because I've recognized that things that attempt to pierce skin are not great on Gaks. So I'm going to throw instead things that attempt to irritate skin. I'm going to chuck some poison ivy at this Gak.
Might check with the extra dice, please.
2 successes.
How many plants do you have in that bag?
A lot. I take samples from everything. Because that's what science is. You need samples and you need to write it down.
Shirley taught me that. It hits them, and he kind of gets in his face, and you see him chomp it, and he's like, the red Gak. And then it was accelerating once again, almost into a wall because it's booking it. This Gak is now really slowed down as it begins to cough since it's eating poison ivy. So, gang, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Lots of turning. And some acceleration into the next serpentine. These folks try to get their Gak to come back. You feel like you folks are getting ahead of it now. It is you're starting to gain a lead as you enter into the second to last turn. So 3, 2, 1. We have a 5, a 3, and a 5. So there's another turn thanks to the ropes. Acceleration. These folks, the Kobolds, move back. They get right about next to you, and one of them begins to cast a spell. It's going to cast Hold Person on your Gak.
The Gak is not a person.
Gak's not a person.
We need Hold Monster.
If he's casting, he can carry on casting Hold Person. It's not going to work. It's fine.
That's true.
Your geckos with an infinite bag of herbs. I think we're going to let this one slide.
Oh, snap.
How would you folks like to counter this as you see them casting?
Can I use a spell, like some type of protection on this Gak?
Sure, you can use...
Bless this cat.
You bless
I'm
this
gonna
Gak.
bless this Gak.
Bless this Gak.
I'm gonna bless this Gak.
I think it could also be a good idea to distract the caster, aka Sis shoots at them.
That's happening.
Okay, make me a might check, sis.
Not
Somebody make a
speciality.
While you're normally very good at sniping, you are driving the Gak and trying to shoot from the hip, so this is going to be... They're behind you, so this is going to be a might check.
One success.
Laverne.
I don't think I have any plans that would particularly help with this. So Laverne is just going to yell, "Hey, you big dummy!"
Moxie check, please.
Also, I got 3 successes on the bless.
Nice. This Gak is blessed.
I got 2 successes on the Moxie.
Okay. So the Gak is fine. The spell fails. He does not pierce the Gak's new
Does
defenses.
Gecko magic, like Gecko Divine Bless, make him like turn on the walls like a gecko? Just like what?
So you...
On the walls a little bit.
I mean, Gaks can do that naturally. You folks just haven't
Really?
gone.
Oh, that's true.
They can. They can go up walls. They
Forgot
always have
that,
been able
yeah.
to.
Spider climb?
We could have made him do that and not just jump on top of the other Gak.
I didn't think they could do that. I mean, why would I think they could do that?
I knew about them climbing.
We established that in the
Yeah.
campaign you two played it. They go up mountains. That's why you use them
Yeah.
on horses.
No, but like straight up a wall when they're like
Yeah, if it's
inverted?
craggy enough. You're in like a mining tunnel. This isn't smooth. We are where we are. Anyway.
Okay.
next dice. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 5, 5, and 5. Bolts down the home stretch. Right to the last turn. These folks, seeing that defeat might be imminent, pull out the dirtiest trick they have.
Uh-oh.
A tray of baked goods.
Rude.
How do you folks resist the baked
Ooh.
goods?
We, not the Gak, us.
No, the Gak is very focused right now. And enticing Looney Tunes as the smell wafts to your gecko noses and you smell it.
All right. So Sis is going to take one of their arrows, jam it in the back of their own hand to distract them
Jesus.
from the smell. They're hardcore. They're just like, fuck no, winning.
I'm going to say we don't need to make a check on that and Sis is fine.
I feel like
Okay.
Somek is taking emotional damage from this, so he's going to heal himself.
Laverne.
Shirley says Tessa's cookies are the best ever, and I believe her.
Moxie check, please.
One success.
Where were these goblins, or where were these kobolds hiding?
The same place she's getting all the
I
herbs
need to
from.
know. I need to know.
Ooh, it's not enough, and you really want those baked goods as you now move in. So in this last phase, Laverne will not be able to use a dice.
One, you mean reduced one dice or not be able to
No
roll?
dice at all. You're very focused on the baked goods temporarily, not permanently. Temporarily. So
Command by cookies.
yeah, gang, what are you doing
All right,
next?
let's do this.
3, 2, 1, go. 2. So they make the turns.
Make the arc.
You
Drift.
slide to the next one. They accelerate up to behind you, but they have to use all their acceleration. So Laverne, how would you like to get these devil baked goods out of your mind?
I'm going to take, because they're right next to us now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Laverne is going to pull out of her pack, not a plant this time, but a small vial that has a small piece of a plant inside, and take a whiff of it. She's going to start coughing and look like she's just smelled the worst thing in the world. She has. It's the extract of the corpse flower, which smells absolutely fucking terrible, but it's guaranteed to wake the dead. It will also distract you from delicious baked good smells.
It will. You're good. All right, folks. So now I need everyone to get those D6s ready. 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 5 in a turn. And with that Gaks gang, you cross the finish line first.
Yes.
We win.
Yes.
The Kobald crowd goes berserk as you ride this Gakken as the red team, this vile red team and all their cheatsy spells, comes in after you. And Derek,
Did just as much cheatsies.
Yeah, but it was cool cheatsies. They're all congratulating you for playing fair and square, which none of that happened at all.
By Kobald standards,
Kobald
it's fair and
standards.
square.
At least the Kobolds that live in this
This is
mountain.
honorable.
Yeah.
Cobalt armor.
Derek
honor.
comes down and tells you that you won. Good job. And he brings this big bundle of the Cindermeg and hands it to you. And he also tells you that if you wish, you may keep the noble mounts.
Yes, this is Shadow Gaks. He's very nice. We like him.
No,
I'm going to make sure that Shadow Gaks is healed up.
no, that he said mounts. Like you get
Oh.
the other. Yeah, no, because the red team was so confident they bet their Gaks.
Oh, what's his name? We need to heal him too. I'm going to heal the
Yeah,
other
he's
Gak.
pretty jacked up. He's been bounced around.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on all the rest of my heals on the other Gak, but he needs an equally punny name.
Oh, I was going to go with Muffin, but we could come up with another funny name. Some baked goods, because he was distracting us.
Shadow Gaks is
Name him
brilliant.
Bill.
Shadow Geks is so good.
We can
Maybe
make
we
him
can
Bill.
workshop
Bill the
it.
Gak.
Yes, like Bill the Pony.
I,
Look, if we're going with the Lord of the Rings,
Oh.
I'm going all in.
Okay.
What did we decide?
Bill the
I'm
Gak
ready for
and
Bill.
Shadow Gaks.
Bill. Yes. Bill. I like Bill.
So you they strap the Cindermeg to Bill. Well, probably to Shadow Gak since he's a little less banged up. And Somek, you ride Bill back to Reggie's encampment. It's some tight squeezes because Gaks are not made to be inside this deep into the mines. They're sort of free roaming creatures. But the red team of Kobolds looks very sad as you take away you functionally raced for pink slips for them. They just made a very bad bet because they were that confident.
The bait coach was a good call.
Yep.
But not enough.
And you return, and there's Barry. You see him showering in the pool where you dump out the potions. As he comes and washes all the ichor off. He's washed all the ichor off him, and he's like, "Whoa, oh, you have bigger lizards. Did you get the Cindermeg?"
Yeah, this is Bill, and this is Shadow Gaks, and Shadow Gaks helped us win all the Cindermeg.
That's awesome.
Sis is like, no, really, all the Cindermeg. Like they harvested it. We won it.
But there is. She's gonna love it.
Fair and square.
Yes.
Won it.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Like
square.
95% fair and square.
So Shirley comes over to you, Laura, and she goes, "All right, well, let's get to work on getting this ready because we can't just give it to her like this because it's just in like stock and not processed form." Yeah, and then we'll have a very nice present for that very nice goat woman. She says, looking at Barry, like not really knowing what Tessa is, and he goes, "Tiefling,
Eagle woman.
yeah, like winged goat." I don't know. Because and Barry's like, he's very confident, like, yeah, he'll love this. So you guys relax. We'll take it from here. And he just sort of goes, he looks around the very small cavern and goes, "I don't know where you want to keep these two."
On the walls.
I don't know if they can sleep up there, but it'll be good when we follow when we follow Tessa. This will be good because we can probably put all our stuff on these guys. Yeah, I bet you could fit a lot of stuff in this guy. And he slaps one of the Gaks on the side.
You can get 5 whole Cindermeg in this guy.
Slap.
And thus the camera pans out on this very lovely scene of these triumphant gecko folks. And who knows, folks, we might see more of the Gexs gang in the future.
I could say Sis is posing dramatically with like one leg up on one of the Gaks. I imagine Laverne is tending to her aloe. What is Somek doing?
He's facing the camera with his butt, so you only
With
see.
his shield.
I think Barry
Of
has
course.
walked over to Hiss and is just sort of moving his cape with his hand just so he can get the waving in because he knows how much Hiss likes it. But this is where we will leave off this week, folks. And next week, hopefully with Robert and Nikki back, we will head into that mysterious temple and find out where Tessa's whoops whoops leads. But thank you for joining us in Ryam, and I hope you enjoyed this little diversion. Again, hopefully we can see more of the Gak gang in the future, and more of them, as you can see from the title screen, of which I have put up of a lovely drawing by Deb. There are many Gaks and who have yet to explore and meet. So thank you once again for coming to Ryam, and we will see you all next week.